Hey everyone, this is Jessica from Well Hello Disney. Today we have a special new episode for you in the Well Hello Disney kitchen on making homemade Dole Whip. Hey everyone, it's Jessica from Well Hello Disney and welcome to our kitchen. This is my little assistant. Say hi.
Hi.
And then we have another assistant too. I'm not sure if she's going to make it so long. But we are inviting you in our kitchen because today is
National Dole Whip Day.
So we are going to show you how to make Dole Whips, not from scratch because I don't have time for that. I'm a mom of four. But we are going to show you a cheat on how to make it at home. So we are now going to go through all of the items that you need to make this Dole Whip cheat. I don't think it's really a cheat. I'm going to tell Disney also makes their Dole Whip. So the first thing you need is a bag of Dole Whip mix off Amazon. This is also linked in our Amazon store so you can find it there. Then we have a bunch of different tools that we're going to use. So the first thing we have is a whisk. Here we go. Then we also have a spatula because you just never know when you're going to need a spatula. Then we have a 4-cup measuring cup. Got that, sweet girl? Then we have, we are going to use an ice cream machine. So we have ice cream salt. We do not have a soft serve machine, so I'm improvising. Then we obviously need a bowl to mix it in. This is a smaller bowl, so we're gonna have to do some conversions. And then over here, we have our scales. So now, with all of our supplies, we are ready to get started. Also, we have our Google because we have to do some conversions and we're not doing that in our head. Right, girl?
Yep.
Okay, before we get started, someone wanted to say hi. Say hi. Okay, now we are ready to move on and start making that Dole Whip. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our scale out. So like I said, with this recipe, we are actually going to cut it into 4 because I have a smaller ice cream freezer. So our goal is to get this 4.4 bag down to 1.1 pounds. And then we also are going to do a water conversion for how much water we need to add to this powder. We will have to take off the smaller bowl and pour this into a larger bowl just because the scale can't handle the weight of the larger bowl, or we would have just measured it in that bowl. So now we're going to switch out our bowl, grab our larger bowl. We took the conversion of 27 cups of water, divided it by 4, and we need 6 3/4 cup of water for this amount of mixture of Dole Whip. So we are going to dump our Dole Whip back in, and then I'm going to have my daughter here pour the water in slowly, and I'm going to help her out with this. Once they are mixed together, we take a whisk and we're really going to turn that whisk and get the powder and liquid mixed up and dissolved as much as possible. I let my daughter take the reins on this one, and then I did go back and try to whisk it. But when my kids help me cook, which they love being in the kitchen, I really try to just patiently wait and let them experience it. I know I could get it done so much faster, but I know they are having fun having a chance to make these special items with me. Once our Dole Whip is nice and mixed, we're going to start putting it in the freezer containers. Now, one thing I would have done differently is I probably would have put the Dole Whip in the refrigerator to cool it down, remixed it, and then put it in these freezers. It was kind of warm, which you'll know why that affects it when we talk about the freezing later in the video. But we tried to split it. I don't think I did a great job on the split because I think one side had more powder than the other for sure. But once we get them inside the freezer cans, then I'm going to put it inside the ice cream freezer. You can see our freezer is very well loved. I make a lot of homemade ice cream, which I'm sure we will cover that in a later video when we try to make Mickey ice cream sandwiches. Once we get the freezers in, you then want to put the lids in, and oops, I forgot to put the paddle in. So take 2, put the paddle on, then put it inside of the ice cream freezer. And I'm going to do this for both sides.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
once the canisters are in place, we are going to grab our ice and we're going to start putting our ice inside of the freezer. And you're also going to grab your salt. The reason you need the salt is because it lowers the temperature of the ice even more to really help with the freezing of the Dole Whip or ice cream, whatever you're using it for. So what I like to do first is get a good layer of ice on the bottom. Then I start sprinkling some of the salt. Do another layer of ice, sprinkle some of the salt, and then do another layer of ice, and then one final one on the top, just to make sure it's nice and cold. Now, as this ice melts, there's actually a hole in the back of this freezer, which is why it's next to the sink. So then that way, as it fills with water, because you will have to continuously add ice during the freezing process, the water will exit out. My mother-in-law and my grandmother-in-law, they all grew up making homemade ice cream. My mother-in-law's from Tennessee. My grandmother-in-law is from Missouri. So homemade ice cream, this is one of our most favorite things. So I'm hoping that the Dole Whip will turn out just as good in the freezer. As usual, I take my time in the beginning, let my daughter do it, and then I do the second bowl so I can speed this process up. Once I get the freezer completely filled with ice, then I'm going to put the churners on top. Now, these are the electric churners. They are going to continuously turn the ice cream to freeze it. Now, this is where I was talking about that I wish I would have maybe put the Dole Whip liquid in the refrigerator, or even use one of those Pampered Chef pitchers, because I would have stuck it in the refrigerator and then I would have used the top of that Pampered Chef pitcher and really mixed up the Dole Whip, poured it in, because this actually did take about 50 minutes to freeze, which is a very long time for something to freeze. And I'm thinking if I could have lowered that core temperature, put the canisters maybe in the freezer, put the Dole Whip in the fridge, and already had it cold, it wouldn't have taken so long to get cold and freeze. Once it's done freezing, you unplug it and you take off the top of the churners, and we have Dole Whip. And just like I guesstimated, I think the right one had a little bit more Dole Whip powder because it's a little more yellow than the left side, which we weren't sure what side we were gonna like more, but we actually liked them both. And I think our vote was for the darker side. So now we're like, maybe we just need to add more Dole Whip powder. Then of course we get our fancy ice cream glasses and we get Dole Whip served for the whole family. My daughter and I had such a blast making this Dole Whip. Everyone loved it. We actually finished off almost both canisters last night, so it was obviously pretty good. So we will definitely make this again, try it with maybe a little bit more Dole Whip powder, and we'll let you know how it goes as we continue to experiment with making this at home. Cheers. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so glad you're here. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Check out some of our other videos, and we will see you real soon.